To speak to the value of getting out of town, and just taking the game to people, and especially here, it's kind of like there's a great talent pool, a lot of alumni, so pretty neat fit, huh?
Well, our players enjoy, at this time of year, you might say they enjoy things as a change of pace, and that's totally understandable. We work very, very hard every day in Macomb, and so for them just to be in a different environment and to play on the turf like this, is a great experience for them. And of course, we're used to traveling, we're used to playing on turf. But again, at this time of year, it's great to have a change of pace, and it puts a little more pep in their step.
Well, tell me too. It's just like in the Quad Cities. I mean, not necessarily recently, but for so many years, if you couldn't go to Iowa, you couldn't go to Illinois, you went to Northern Iowa, kind of thing too. And Western has really come onto the map. I mean, that's got to speak to you pretty well. That there's a lot of great choices out there, and you're one of them.
Well, Western Illinois offers the best of both. We say that all the time. And that is, we offer the best in the world of academics and a great football tradition there. And of course, some former players have been from the Quad Cities area, have a lot to do with that tradition that's been built down there with Leatherneck football. And as you mentioned, we're just 90 minutes down the road. And so, Macomb, Illinois is a great college community, and it is really pretty unique to have a community that size, that houses, a university like Western Illinois.
Well, obviously a dramatic improvement last year too, but obviously you lose guys too. So what's the message this spring as you try to build on some tremendous success? I guess?
Well, we've got a few returners on each side of the ball, and yet we lost some very, very key players. Kyle Glazier from Geneseo, obviously you just can't replace him overnight. Now we're confident we've got players that can learn and pick up the pace, where Kyle left off at, but you just don't replace him instantly. And then on the offensive side of the ball, Matt Barr from Belvedere, Illinois, again, you just don't replace him instantly. But we've got a mixture of some veterans that return as starters, but also there's some underclassmen that are anxious to get their shot at playing. And in fact, we have quite a few freshmen, a year ago that redshirted, and they're very excited to show their skills this spring.
And go ahead.
As a coach, what are you looking for from some of these guys with these positions open and things like that, the competition and stuff? What are you looking for out of the spring practice?
Well, there is a great deal of competition. Competition is open really at every spot. Now there's a couple of veterans that we'd anticipate should win those battles, but you never know for sure till it's all over. We expect a couple of things you might say are real simple, and yet that we drill constantly, both physically and mentally. And one is, we want our guys to have a great mindset, and that just means a great positive attitude with everything they do. We want our guys to become better people every day and better football players every day. And when you talk about football playing, for Leatherneck football, that means being very physical on every rep you get, and that means great effort every rep you get.
Last thing from me, Gunnard, what does he bring to the staff? Obviously he has a neat history here, and he's kind of been there, done it football-wise too, from playing in the NFL, coached some high school, and now he's a pretty strong member of your staff, right?
Yes, it's great to have Gunnard Schweiner as part of the Leatherneck football staff. Obviously, Gunnard came out of Pleasant Valley High School. The story, as everybody is aware of, walked on at Western Illinois, set a lot of school records, and played some in the National Football League. And it's a real pleasure to have Gunnard back with us as our wide receiver coach. And of course, last year we had a young man that was a senior by the name of Lito Senatus that set many school records. And Gunnard did a great job. He had some good people to work with, but he did a great job with his receiving core, and he's continued to do very well this spring.
Good to have you guys up here. Just sort of give us an idea how this all came to be. It sounds like you're sort of making the rounds around the state.
Well, it's great to have I'm going to simply say a change of pace for the players. We work very, very hard every day, so, to change the atmosphere for the players, to get on the field turf, the artificial field turf, it puts a little more balance in everybody's step. This was practice number 6 for us. We've practiced very, very hard the first 5. And I felt like it was very, very good effort today. So the added change of pace, again, I think it just helps everybody's mindset a little bit, and you get a little more quality scrimmage.
What in particular were you pleased with from your team's effort today? And it looked like a pretty spirited afternoon.
Yes, we were pleased with the effort. We asked them to be physical on every snap. We asked for a great effort every snap. We asked them to finish every snap because those snaps only last 4 to 5 seconds apiece. And then I feel like today, from what I could tell, we got that from almost every player on almost every rep.
You guys coming off a playoff run, some nice momentum from a year ago, and your second, I believe, full season. You got to be pretty pleased with the direction of this program.
Well, last fall we had a very good football team, and to be back in the national playoffs and FCS football was something that team earned. And they also earned a first-round victory in those playoffs, and we got knocked out in round 2. And now this team, the 2011 team, they're motivated by a very positive situation. That is, they want to keep the ball rolling now where Leatherneck football is, and they want to be back in those playoffs and continue even further. Obviously, you're gonna try to improve and move your goals higher every year. So this team is motivated in a very positive way from last year's results.